welcome to another edition of Saturday Night 5. I'm your host, Jeff. Today, like the title says, we're going over my top 5 matches of WrestleMania 34, the second of 2 WrestleManias that I attended live. Little bit of a follow-up from my last video, last episode. I have still yet to go to my parents' house to see if I can find the footage. Not footage, but like pictures from WrestleMania 24. Good news is, though, for this episode, the pictures are on this. I can get it on this phone because they're in my Doodle photos. But back in the day, for 2008, I didn't have. I did. Oh, yeah, I had a flip phone. So not the best quality picture, essentially. But I had a digital camera. So somewhere there is digital camera photos of WrestleMania 24. Whether or not, just it's not on my computer. So they gotta be on my parents'. Because I remember putting a bunch of stuff on my parents' computer. Or I remember putting a bunch of stuff on like the home computer, which was my parents' computer. And then it's gotta be somewhere. I'll find it. And for sure post it in. Be sure to check out the Jam Productions Incorporated Facebook page. You know what? I will link that to the description. In case, that goes for all the videos, but I'm pretty sure I leave that link to the Jam Productions Inc. Facebook page on my Jeff's Life vlogs. I'm pretty sure. Almost positive. We'll have to check and post. But if I don't, I'm going to start. Because a lot of people to know when my videos are coming out or when, I post in that page a lot. Or I share the videos in that page a lot. In case, for some reason, you don't check it out on YouTube right away. So, yeah. But anyway, guys. In a follow-up, let's talk WrestleMania 34. The year was 2018. We drove from Florida to Louisiana. Nice little road trip there with the family. It was my parents, my brother, me and my wife Jasmine. We stayed. I had an aunt and uncle who live in Louisiana, so we stayed there with them while my parents and brother stayed at a hotel, and me and Jasmine stayed with them at the house at my aunt's and Uncle Tony's house. It was a fun little trip. What was not fun though is the night before, I should say, was Supercard of Honor. Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. That within itself was fun. What wasn't fun was the Uber ride home. Back to my aunt and uncles. Because, let me tell you, folks, this was an attention exchange between my brother and I. For that particular night, as my phone was about to die, so I couldn't change it. I couldn't cancel it to risk not getting a ride home that night. But yeah, it was one expensive Uber ride home, and the reason being, I keep saying home, but I mean to my aunt and uncles. Reason being was because there's this thing called the Causeway, and it's this long long stretch of road that just goes at least, I want to say, it's one of the largest in the U.S. From New Orleans, because they live in Mandeville. So we had to cross the causeway to get to them. So it was a long way home. However, there was a price surge for Uber, and it was a very expensive Uber. So that was the only thing that sucked from the trip. Other than that, it was a fun trip. Met a great bunch of wrestlers the day, at Supercard of Honor. We met Tanahashi. We met Marty Scurll. We met the Young Bucks. And of course, we met Kota Ibushi and Kenny Omega. Now, Kenny Omega, unfortunately, the picture that we took of Kenny Omega, my wife didn't get in the frame fast enough, so it's kind of an awkward photo. This is actually the first time I'm sharing that awkward photo. So that's why I just kept it to me and him, because my wife didn't meet in the frame in time. Kind of sucked. I'm sorry, babe. But hopefully we get to meet Kenny one day and take a makeup picture, if you will. Again, someday, hopefully, soon. Who knows? But yeah, it was a great event, great show, great everything. But that's not about that. But this isn't about that. This is about WrestleMania. So now let's switch gears to a different company. For WWE WrestleMania 34. Here are my top 5 favorite matches that I saw live. Start with number 5. All right, number 5, we're going to go with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon versus Kurt Angle and the debuting Ronda Rousey. Mixed tag match. Let me tell you, this was pretty fun. Ronda, who I could, handle at the time. I liked her. She was a badass. I mean, she still is a badass, don't get me wrong, but it just, since then, not really. It doesn't matter. But what she did in this match was pretty impressive. Not only going over. Now, for mixed tag matches, normally the women just stay with, fight the women and the men fight the men. In this case, Ronda wasn't afraid to mix it up with Triple H as well at a few points in the match. So that was wild. Very entertaining match. But it ended up with Ronda winning, getting the win with the submission. And yeah. Very fun, entertaining tag match. Here's some pictures for that match. Featuring the entrances were pretty cool, especially the Triple H and Stephanie one, I will say, with the motorcycles and stuff like that. Oh, and by the way, as you can see, I'm sorry, back up a little bit. I forgot to mention we had pretty decent seats, as you can see from these pictures. I'm sorry, I forgot to. I should have started with that. We were definitely closer than we were for WrestleMania 24. I will say that. I think that includes both of us, like Jasmine included, because she might have had decent seats for 24, but these might have been a little bit closer. We saved up for it. The whole year, because we knew this was going to be what we wanted to do. Because, truth be told, we were going to go to WrestleMania 33 in Orlando. We went to the ticket sale party in Orlando. We met a couple people, actually. We met Neville that night. We met, did we meet Big Cass? No. Wait, maybe? I know it was Neville. I know it was Cesaro. I know there was one other guy. Probably, no, yes, it was Big Cass, I think, actually, if I'm not mistaken. So, and I was going to buy WrestleMania 33 tickets, and for some reason, while I had enough in my account, this card still didn't go through, and I think what it was the account balance and the available balance didn't match up for some reason, so that's why. Turned out in the end it was for the best because, rent was coming up due and stuff, so I probably wouldn't have been the most wise investment to get WrestleMania tickets prior to, I don't know. So then my mom's like, hey, listen, so you want to go do a road trip next year for WrestleMania in New Orleans and, see Ed and Cedric and Tony, who we haven't seen in a while. So, of course, we went, yeah, that'll be fun. So then we saved up, got the tickets, and that's the kind of seats we got. So, it was a pretty good spot, pretty decent seats. Now, if you think we can get those kind of seats today? No. Absolutely. Unless we win the lottery, absolutely not. Fuck TKO. But anyways, rant over. Not gonna shoot. No. What was I? The match. Yes, I'm sorry. I know we're not. This is what I do. We go off in tangents. It's, blame it on the ADHD. But anyways. Fuck. Alright. So the mixed tag match was, like I said, pretty damn good match. Pretty fun match. And that's why I made the list. Now, there are some matches on here. I'll speak about honorable mentions later. Never mind. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 was, although I didn't like the result of it, it was still a damn pretty good match, I must admit, and a history making, even though I didn't like the result. But the SmackDown Women's Championship between Charlotte Flair, the champion, and Asuka. The undefeated Asuka. The 2018 Women's Royal Rumble winner Asuka. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty badass match. Until the end, when Charlotte won. And because I was really rooting for Asuka. I really was. Because I wasn't a big Charlotte fan, and 2, I wanted Asuka to continue her streak. Because it was a legit undefeated streak. Unlike some people's. But, in the end, she lost. But damn good match between the two. Give credit where credit is due. Since then, Charlotte has been getting on my, better side, and I love her teaming up with Alexa Bliss and all that. And I love what they're doing. So, she is, both women are pretty talented. It was her character that I didn't really care for at the time. But my opinions, like I said, of her changed a little bit. So, since then, obviously, if I liked her now. So, but at the time, it was like, no, I want Asuka. Go Asuka. And she didn't. But that's okay. Still a great match. I will be, like I said, posting pictures within me talking. So it's, got a lot of editing to do as far as adding pictures goes. So we'll see which ones I use or which ones I don't. But yeah, number 3. One of the coolest things, one of the best news that came right before this pay-per-view was that Daniel Bryan was cleared to wrestle again. And he knew in his heart that he wasn't done. He knew he wanted to get back at doing what he did. So he did a bunch of tests, did a bunch of doctors, did a bunch of everything, and they finally cleared him. And it was incredible. The big return of Daniel Bryan teaming with Shane McMahon against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. So much fun to see live, this match. Getting to see Shane O'Mac live. My brother and I are big Shane O'Mac fans. Always have been. I believe this was my... If I'm not mistaken, this was definitely my second Shane match I've seen live. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty positive. This was my second Shane match I've seen live. What was the first, you ask? It was the last man standing match at the Rosemont Horizon. Backlash 2001 against the Big Show. The iconic one where he fell off the John onto Big Show and was hoisted up by Test with a camera crane to win the match. Boy, was it epic! Great stuff. But this match heavily focused on Daniel's return. There was a big hype video before it. And just to experience the whole yes movement in a space like this. Granted, I got to experience it on my first and only ever Raw I went to for my 30th birthday, actually. My God, that was 12 years ago. Holy shit. I'm old. But to experience it in a bigger arena, like the Superdome, because when we were at the time when I first saw Daniel Bryan live on that Raw, we were in the Amway Arena at the time. So just being there live for that entrance and the hype video and even the celebration afterwards with 78,000 plus fans all chanting yes, yes, yes. It was a very cool experience. Very cool experience. Great match. Ending came when Daniel made Sami Zayn tap out with the yes lock. And the stipulation was if Sami and Kevin beat Shane and the mystery partner, which was Daniel Bryan, which ended up being Daniel Bryan, if they beat them, they get their jobs back on SmackDown, because I guess they were fired from SmackDown, and the storyline-wise was that story. It was a fun match, for sure, and definitely worth watching again. Which, by the way, I did. I recently went back and watched this event before I'm filming this, so unlike what I should have did that for WrestleMania 24, but I didn't. At least now I had time to for this one, and that's why I remember. Number two, if you don't count the pre-show matches, it was the opening match of WrestleMania 34. The true opening match of WrestleMania 34. The triple threat Intercontinental title match between the champion, The Miz, Finn Balor, and Seth Rollins. Wow. What a match. What a match. What a way to kick off the show. What a hot opener. All three of these guys, I love that the Intercontinental title started this thing off. Great athleticism by all three of them, especially Seth and Balor, and just the Intercontinental title. It's the work rate title. It's the workhorse title, if you will. Great matchup from all three of these men, and in the end, Seth won and became the new Intercontinental Champion. And man, oh man, it was phenomenal. Phenomenal match. Great entrances too with them. Balor Club representing. You had the LGBTQ representatives of New Orleans. I forgot what the full name was. I apologize. But for Finn's entrance, and Finn had like rainbow, the rainbow, the Pride logo, the Pride Total logo on his shirt and his boots. Very cool stuff. And yes, I'm an ally, and if you're not, fuck you. That's a shoot. So, also, before we get into my number one, I will say this. You're probably wondering, why didn't I include Undertaker's match? Or why didn't I include... I will say this. Spoiler alert. Number one isn't Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for like the fucking 50th time or whatever the fuck it was. Although surprised by the ending. It was a terrible match. I did not like that match at all. And Undertaker's, while the entrance was phenomenal, the match itself was very short, very squash-like, against Cena of all people. So, that was a little bit of a disappointment, but the entrance was longer than the match, to be honest with you. So, but to see that live, to see the entrance live, still was a pretty cool thing. But, so yeah, tag team match was kind of a squash, tag team title match. A lot of multi-man matches in this event, to be honest with you. I mean, that's good. You want to get everyone on the card, and it was only a one-night event. God, I miss it being a one-night event. To be really fair, I really do. I mean, come on. I understand why they had to go 2 nights because of the COVID and whatnot, but do you really need 2 nights? I mean, because what's going to happen is one night's going to be better than the other nights. Everyone's going to be bitching about the first night, and everyone's going to love the second night, which, to be honest, is my exact review of this year's WrestleMania. If you really want to know, it was on last week. Night 1 was meh. Night 2 was better. However, a bunch of matches felt rushed. There was no storytelling involved. There was why? You had 6 or 7 matches on the card. You could have had them have. You could have had them all easily have more time than needed. You know what I mean? Like, why did they feel so rushed? Honestly, the single greatest WrestleMania moment of WrestleMania 42, I'll say it, was the Danhausen segment with John Cena and The Miz and Kit Wilson and the Mini-Hausens. It was phenomenal. It was fantastic. I was laughing my ass off the whole night. The best thing I've ever seen, period. That's saying something, So, and the sick-ass entrance by CM Punk was pretty cool, too. That match was the greatest match ever, by the way. The main event for night 2, Punk and Reigns. That was fantastic as well, albeit the outcome. I wanted Punk to win, but what are you going to do? So that was my quick review of WrestleMania 42 and my honorable mentions from WrestleMania 34. Now, let's get to my number 1 favorite match from WrestleMania 34. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship. My God. This had a dream match written all over it. This was the first time in the WWE that they met. Actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe they... Oh, Christ. My wife would know. But did they fight in Japan? I don't think they fought in Japan when they were in New Japan. I don't think they were in New Japan at the same time. They had similar paths getting to WWE, like the storyline went, but I don't think that Shinsuke and AJ fought in New Japan. And it was a phenomenal match. No pun intended. But, again, you know, you had Shinsuke win the Rumble that year, just like Asuka. You would think that one of these two would win the title at Mania. Neither one did. So while the ending was kind of disappointing, I'm still glad that AJ, you know what? The ending was disappointing, and AJ had what was coming to him after the match. You know? That's what you did for winning. No, it was really great. Both athleticism, you know, back and forth from both guys. Exchange of submissions and matches and counters and matches, submissions and you know, finishers, false finishes, just back and forth, just counters, great counters, especially that last one where Shinsuke was going for the Kinshasa and AJ somehow moved out of the way and only to catch it. No, he caught him, only to then put him in the Styles Clash for the 1, 2, 3. I mean, it was a great ending. It was a great match. It really was. By far my favorite match of the night. But like I said, I wish Shinsuke went home with the title that night and they still kept the feud going. You know, which I think they did. No, eventually they did keep the feud going. Just that one of them had to be heel now, and that obviously was the route that they were making Shinsuke when he low blowed him after the match. But overall, to be honest with you, I will say, in regards to match wise, you can't really tell. You know what? Obviously, they both had their highlight of matches. Otherwise, well, okay. To be fair, WrestleMania 24, I had trouble picking 5 matches. This one, not so much. I knew my solid 5 when I was watching it right away. So, whereas WrestleMania 24, it was kind of hard. So I will say overall, I think this was the better one that we attended live. The first one, like I said, WrestleMania 24, it was an experience as well. But this one, you know, not only did we have better seats, we had, you know, it was me, my wife, and my brother attending, and we just had a blast. And we had an end row too, which was very nice, you know, except for the people going in and out. But yeah, very great stuff for what we attended and saw live. So there you have it, folks. April's edition. The April editions of Saturday Night 5. Stay tuned for May. We got some movie ones coming up. Spoiler alert. I am planning on doing Actually, I might do that for June. I don't know yet. Similar to what I did last year, there will be a one with the my top 5 movies I'm looking forward to during the summer. And then I'm going to do top 5 movies I plan on watching during my Saturday night's nostalgia movie night of movies I probably should have seen but haven't yet. And I got a theme this year kind of going on. I won't spoil it yet, but stay tuned for that episode. That'll be somewhere, whether it be in May or June, I don't know yet. We shall see. But that's later. And this, as for this right now, thank you for watching another edition of Saturday Night 5. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. So long, everybody. By the way, wait, stop. Sorry. One more thing. I showed you what I got as far as merch at the last show. As far as merch on this show, we got this shirt, as well as the shot glass I got for my shot glass collection. To commemorate my WrestleMania experience. So yeah, now we will see you next time. And that's it. Bye.